Hi everyone, this is Christine from Temptolly.com. Today I want to show you a little tutorial that was a request by Roxanne. She suggested that I try and do a tutorial that uses the 187 brush to apply foundation in comparison to the 109, which is my preferred method. But the 187 is a great method too, especially if you don't have the 109 or you can't afford the 109, but you do have the 187. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that. So the first thing to do is make sure that you've already applied your moisturizer and your primer. You want to make sure you give your moisturizer about 10 to 15 minutes to sink in before you go ahead and apply your primer. And then you want to make sure your primer has some time to sink in as well. So I'd wait about 5 minutes or so for your primer to sink in. Once you've gone ahead and put your moisturizer and primer on and everything has been, sunk into your skin and you're ready to do your foundation, my first step is I take a little spray bottle of water and then I spritz my face. And then I'm going to take my brush that I'm going to use, which is the 187, and I spritz the brush. And in the other tutorials I also used Makeup Forever HD Foundation. I am shade 140 for reference, which is about NC30 in MAC. And I'm going to go ahead and squirt that on the back of my hand. I just use one pump for now. If I need more, I'll go back and add more later. Again, take your spray bottle, spray it once on your hand, then just kind of dip that in. I start usually by applying foundation to my cheeks because I feel like my cheeks are where I need the most coverage. So with this brush, I kind of just stipple it on like this, and then I kind of brush into the way my face goes. So like I'll brush it downwards along my jawline and kind of up around my cheekbones. Go back and get more off your back of your hand. Stipple it on the areas that you want to apply foundation to. Make sure you go all the way up to your hairline because you don't want to look like you're wearing a mask. So you want to pull your hair back and make sure you kind of get all up in there. If you feel you need a little more coverage, one way to do it is to go ahead and spritz the back of your hand because I still have foundation on here. So I'm just going to spritz it once or twice. I'm going to go back and get my brush and I'm just going to get the last bit of that foundation off and just stipple it where I need a little more coverage. One drop of the Makeup Forever HD foundation should be more than enough for anyone who just needs light coverage. If you need heavier coverage, you may need about 1.5 drops, but really go lighter than you think you need, and that way you can build up and it won't look cakey or overdone. Now that we've applied the foundation, the next step would be to take your blush. So I'm going to go ahead and use Margin by MAC, which is kind of a pretty little pinky, dirty pink, I guess, color. It's one of my favorites. I recommend it to everybody. It is like my holy grail of blushes if I had to pick one color to wear for the rest of my life. I use the 116 brush by MAC, which is just super, super easy to use. It makes applying blush like a no-brainer. So you want to apply it in kind of like a tapping motion, and you want to deposit most of the color on the apple of your cheek. If you need help finding the apple of your cheek, just smile really, really big and cheesy like this. And then your apples will stick out a bit more. And I like to use it as the tapping method to get the color. And then I use the blending, which is just kind of bringing the brush outwards and upwards towards your temple. And you want to do the same thing on the other side. If you think it looks too much, don't worry so much about it. You will be putting your setting powder, your translucent powder, which will help kind of diffuse some of the color so that's not so over the top. If it is really, really, really bright though, you can use a buffing brush like MAC's 182 brush, which will help kind of buff out the color, make it a little softer, a little more subtle. Once your blush color is on the way you want it, you can go ahead and highlight your cheeks for a little more of a more shimmery look. I'm going to go ahead and skip that because my cheeks do have a little bit of natural shimmer from this blush already. and I want kind of a natural look today, so I'm not going to go for more highlighter. The next step I'm going to do is I'm going to apply translucent powder. I'm going to use MAC Prep and Prime Transparent Finishing Powder, and I'm going to use MAC's 150 brush, which is a powder brush. It's really fluffy, you know, it's really dense. I'm going to just put my brush in there, tap off a little bit in the container. I have this much on here. One way I like to do so that I don't waste the product is I do one tap on the forehead, one tap here, and then I brush it all downwards. You want to do soft, gentle, kind of smooth movements, just really smooth, kind of in a circle. I do pretty big circles, and then sometimes I just do a little bit of tapping and pulling it downwards, kind of like for the forehead I pull down this way, for the jawline I pull down towards my chin, down the nose. If you're a little more oily, you may want to do a little more setting powder. I'm not too oily usually, so it's best for me not to build up too much, otherwise I will look powdery. I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial, and be sure to subscribe and visit us at temptalia.com. I'll see you guys later. Bye!